Right, the bait bit. What we're going to do now, the whole of the Team Tribal are going to talk through their favourite dynamite bait and why they use it. So, me up first. Now mine is the Tigernut, or the Tigernut range, and I use it because I trust it. That is the bottom line. It's caught loads and loads of fish, and the first instance I saw this was at Wellington Country Park, and it totally dominated the lake, so it was an easy choice. A couple of years have gone by, and then we've introduced the red ammo, and I was a bit reluctant to change at first because I caught so many big carp from all over the place on the Tigernut, but I tested it the very first batch, very first time out, a couple of 20-pounders from Manor down at Linear, so it's a tricky day ticket lake, and I caught straight away, so I instantly became confident, if you like. Now you can see the difference. I've always been primarily a boilie angler. One, spotting is messy, like spotting over zigs, no, it goes all over your back, so boilies for me is the one. So there you can clearly see the difference. The red ammo is exactly the same base mix and additives as the Tigernut, but the digestibility has slightly changed because of the vanilla palatin that's been introduced. Now the colour is slightly different, that's a very washed out pink, and I like that as well because it is almost washed out as soon as it goes in, so it's not going to be suspicious to the sort of wily old bigger carp that I like to fish for. So there you have it, my favourite, red ammo and Tigernut mixed. Now let's go and see what the rest of the team prefer.
I'm predominantly a boilie angler. I use boilies for all my fishing in some form or other. At the moment, I'm using monster Tigernut boilies. There's not a carp in the country that doesn't like Tigernuts, but unfortunately on some of the lakes they're banned. So it's a great way of using them. There's more Tigernut in this boilie than any other boilie out there at the moment. So what I'll do with these boilies, I like to use them chopped up. I crush these boilies up. The reason I like to do this is because I'll spod this out. When this hits the water, this will float down irregularly in the water layers, so we'll get a bigger spread on the lake bed. So, you know, it also releases the flavours a lot quicker as well and all the attractors. And I'm a great believer in using chopped boilies rather than whole boilies. Along with the boilies, I use chopped Tigernuts where I'm allowed. Now these Tigernuts here are prepared in a jar, there's no preservatives with them. If you do find that you don't actually use the whole jar, then you can take them back home and freeze them. I've got no issues with refreezing particles, and sometimes, especially hemp, I'll refreeze that up to about 2 or 3 times. So I'll mix this in with the boilie. I'll then use hemp. Now there isn't a fish in the country that doesn't like hemp. It's full of natural goodness, it's full of amino acids, it's got loads of fatty foods in it, it's got loads and loads of protein. I've also got a couple of other products that I like to use into my mix. Dynamite are doing a new Frenzied hemp seed with Snails. Now, again, this is something which is brand new. There's no other company doing it, and it's just a natural food. And we all know that carp love snails. Once I put all this mix into the bucket, I'll then add some monster Tigernut liquid. Now, this can be used to rehydrate boilies. And I'm doing virtually that when I'm pouring it into my mix. One thing I would say to you is I'll use probably about 50 ml of this in with about 2 or 3 kilos. I'll mix it all up, but I'll leave it for a couple of hours before I actually use it, just so it's all soaked into the ingredients that I've got in there. I'll show you the mix. That's the mix that I use. It's full of Tigernut, full of hemp, loads of snails in there, and it's just, there's not going to be a carp in the country that doesn't want to eat that.
If you're fishing a lot of silty venues, they contain the taste of the boilie on the lake bed. So what I do is, I pop them in an air dry bag, leave them for 3 or 4 days. I don't totally dry them out, but they're dried out enough to absorb a lot of what I want to do. So what I do is, air dry them for a few days, pop them in a bucket, a little bit of lake water. I don't want to drown them, I just want to give them enough so they can absorb it all now. Give them